this is a pretty basic video. I'm starting here just from where I was staying on Do Quang Dao Street, but I'm going to show you guys what Bui Vien Street looks like in Saigon. It's pretty much the tourist area. The street has changed a lot in the last, 10, 15 years. So now it's loud. It's a party street. Kind of reminds me of some parts of Bangkok. Didn't used to be like that, but that's how it is now. So it's coming up here. This is in the rain, so it's not super crowded, by the way. So I had some fog on the lens from coming out from the AC. So Bui Vien runs from the southwest to the northeast, and this is the quiet part. You can see the arch there. It says Bui Vien Walking Street. There's not a whole lot that ever goes on this end of the street. So you got your classic, restaurants and pharmacy there and whatnot. And for the first section until you get to Do Quang Dao, it's pretty quiet. And then starting at Do Quang Dao, that's where a lot of the music starts. It gets loud. You'll hear that. In this part, there's a really good sushi restaurant to my left here. Yeah, I'm already past it. There's also a great Greek restaurant called Souvlaki there. Highly recommended if they're not closed. Businesses come and go on this street because the rents are pretty high. So there's also another hotel that's here that's pretty good coming up on the right. I didn't stay in the hotel, but they have a great pho, and the price is pretty good. I think it was like 70,000, 80,000 dong. So that's just a couple of bucks. For the most part, this video is just going to be, you can take a look at the street. I'm not going to say much. And then I'm going to bring the regular sound back in to 100%. So you can hear kind of what the street sounds are like. But this definitely reminds me of streets elsewhere in Asia. This is really the only street like this in Saigon, I would say. It's a little bit gritty. It's a little bit party. It's a little bit ladyboy. It's a little bit kind of, everything. You can see the colors. There are some other places in Saigon, like Little Japan, I guess. And there's that's sort of more like a clubbing scene. But the actual Little Japan area, they call it Japantown. That's sort of an enclosed area. This is more open, and you can kind of do what you want. So as we come up to this street here, Do Quang Dao is to the left. This is where you'll start to hear some of the music and things like that. It gets loud from here on out. So I'm just gonna let you guys watch the video. Fast forward the parts that you want to see or whatnot. This was taken in 2025, just a couple of months ago. I think May. This is May 2025. So I was here for New Year's, and yeah, you guys can see it for yourself. I walk all the way down the other street, and then I walk back. I wanted to tell you about a great place if you're looking for some cheap beer on this street. You're not going to find it from any of the brightly lit clubs, but look for a place on the left. It's coming up here. There's a little side street, and just after the side street, it's called 102. So if you look at the addresses there, you see 118, 110, 114. So those are the addresses of Bui Vien. But the one that's coming up is 102. Saigon Chill. This place has been here for more than a decade, and this is where you're going to find the cheapest beers. They're less than $1 basically for a beer, and you can sit there and you can kind of enjoy the people walking by, and you're not going to find that anywhere else in Bui Vien really. There's a couple of them that are kind of next to each other in that section, but other than that little section that's sort of a throwback to the old days when Bui Vien was quiet, people would sit down and chat with each other. It wasn't so loud that it's blowing your eardrums out and you can't hear anybody talk, which is how it is now, but it didn't used to be like that. Backpackers used to come and chat about their places, that they were from and where they visited and whatnot. That's all gone now, so, except for that little enclave there. So if you're looking for cheap beer, have a seat there, drink all the beer you want for cheap. The seats aren't as comfortable as some of the couches and stuff, but all these other places you're going to spend a lot more money. You're going to spend, not quite Western prices, but you're going to be spending several dollars per beer, or for drinks even more. Something else to take note is they have these balloons there now, which are supposed to be filled with nitrous. They're a total scam. They're basically just filled with carbon dioxide. So if you want a free way to so-called get high, just buy a paper bag and breathe into it for 10 minutes, and that'll make you pass out too. But the balloons are a total scam, and I see a lot of Asian tourists come and thinking that, oh yeah, the balloons are great or whatever. They're not. They're just filled with like 99% CO2 and air. Maybe they have 1% nitrous, which is not enough to do anything for anybody. So this is the end of the Bui Vien walking street. So you're going to notice a lot of ladyboys hanging out here. That's where they are. I mean, you'll see them walking up and down everywhere. Don't get tricked by them if you're not into that sort of stuff. And this is looking back from right where I came from. You can see the arch on this end of Bui Vien walking street. And now I'll just be walking back so you can see it from the other perspective. And the rain does eventually sort of like lighten up here. But again, not a busy night. Other nights, if it's not raining, it's shoulder to shoulder practically trying to get down that street. So don't ever make the mistake of trying to take a taxi down that corridor, or a scooter if you rented one or something, because it's not worth it if you're trying to get somewhere. If you're just doing it as a tourist, there's a lot of people that do that, but you're going to be literally rubbing shoulders with people on your scooter even if it's not raining on a night like this. So, and this is I think I took this around 10:30 at night. So you'll notice where that car or that truck is parked there. That's a police station to the right. So that's a police truck. So if you have any issues, you can always go to the police station. Obviously avoid doing that. It's not going to be an easy process, and they're not going to speak much English most of the time. And I believe there's a fee probably still. If anything happens to you, they're going to charge you to write a report. That's normal. They're not trying to, they might try to rip you off. Probably not though. It's a fee system. So, I'm not sure how much taxpayer dollars they get for the system. So I believe there's still a charge to do certain services like write a report. I would highly recommend you watch your belongings in your pockets, because there were a lot of pickpockets back, a decade ago on this street. I'm sure there probably still are a bunch of pickpockets, but maybe a little bit less so now that it's more popular. I don't walk this street unless I have pants that I'm wearing that have zipper pockets. If you've had a couple of beers, they will slap your balls and pull your phone or your wallet right out of your front pocket without you knowing it. That's a personal story that happened to me a decade ago on this street. So I didn't notice it until I got about 10 steps away, and they usually have a scooter that's waiting for them. So they come up, they distract you somehow, they take your stuff, they immediately hop on the scooter and they're gone. And you turn around and they're gone by the time you realize it. So that's a little harder to do when it's crowded nowadays. So I'm sure they have different techniques. And like I say, maybe it's a little bit safer because there's more enforcement, more people, more money. But yeah, definitely be careful of your things. But one of the nice things you don't have to worry about here is sort of violent encounters. Really the only violence I've ever seen on the street is usually from foreigners fighting. It's usually like, foreign tourists that get drunk and they're causing a scene. But you don't have to worry about locals. It's quite different if you go to the United States or you go to Western countries, in the UK. You could get knifed. If you go to bad parts of the US, for sure. People could just kill you because they don't like you or for random reasons or whatever. You don't have to worry about that pretty much anywhere in Vietnam. It's a very, very safe country in terms of violence, but pickpockets are probably still pretty rampant. So this is Do Quang Dao Street again. The walking street continues. You remember the quiet portion is that other segment. I was going to go back to the hotel here, and I was like, ah, well, I probably should finish the full segment to go back to where I started. So this is, again, the quiet segment, walking back to the far southwest corner of Bui Vien Walking Street. So that's it. That's Bui Vien Walking Street. I decided to take a scooter back. This guy hustles me on the right. You can see him on the scooter with the yellow jacket. And I'm like, no thanks, no thanks. You can hear that in the background. It's overlaid audio. But ultimately, I finish up this this walk, and I turn around. I negotiate with him, and yeah, I get him to take me back just half a block for about $1 back to my hotel, which is totally worth it after walking that whole distance.
You do massage?
Nah, not tonight.
Oh,
yeah, thank you though. If you guys like this video, please like and subscribe. But more importantly, ask me any questions you have in the comments. I'll try to get to every single comment that I possibly can. That's a reasonable question. I will answer it. I've spent more time in Vietnam than any other country except for America, actually. So thank you guys for watching. See you guys on the next video.
Right there.